Antimicrobial resistance, it's a big problem, as we know. I think at the moment the estimate is that about 35,000 people in Europe die every year from AMR. Globally, we expect by 2050 there to be about 10 million deaths a year. So this is a substantial problem, and that we need to address and take very seriously, as has been pointed out this afternoon. The solution, of course, part of the solution is all of the preventative things that we've spoken about, more responsible prescribing and consumption patterns, less use of antibiotics in livestock farming, of course. But we know that behavioral change is difficult. We've seen that with climate change. We see that with AMR. And part of the solution is going to have to be, we need novel antimicrobials to be developed. That's going to have to be part of the solution, firstly. Secondly, part of the solution is going to have to be, we need to make sure that diagnostics and treatment is available in the poorest parts of the world. Because as was pointed out earlier, we're not safe until we're all safe. Okay, and that's an important part of what I want to talk about. So I want to talk about those two issues, novel antimicrobial development and access to medicines and diagnostics in the context of the socio-political environment that we've lived in over the last 30 years. And I'm going to divide it into a couple of seasons, shall we say. In the 1990s, I've called that the era of multilateralism. And I've said multilateralism with tea and cake, because I think it was a lovely decade. And then we move on to another era that I've called polarization like a punch in the gut. And things fell apart, and we'll talk about that in a second. And superimposed on this socio-political timeline, we went on some public health adventures. And I've called those thinking big, thinking smart, and outsourced thinking.